Today we've got a serious dive into the past, present, and future of the Gears of War universe, and if you're a longtime fan like me, this one is going to hit home. We're talking about Gears of War Reloaded, the surprise remake of the original Gears classic, and why it's more than just a visual upgrade. We're also looking ahead at what the Coalition could do next, with some fans hoping for a remaster of Gears of War Judgment, others crying out for a full Gears 2 remake, and everyone watching closely as Gears of War E-Day slowly approaches. There's a lot to unpack here, from remakes to remasters to what it all means for PlayStation players jumping into Gears for the first time. So today, let's break it all down and see what the future holds for the franchise that changed first-person shooters forever. But alright, so let's start with Gears of War Reloaded. I want to get something out of the way. This is not just the Ultimate Edition with a shiny coat of paint. It is a full-on remake. And yes, I know, on the surface, it might look like we're retreading old ground. But hear me out. Reloaded is doing something special here. For one, it's not just about giving the original game prettier visuals, it's about completely reimagining the experience while keeping the soul of that brutal cover-based combat intact. If you played the Ultimate Edition back in 2015, that was a decent remaster. It bumped things up to 1080p and smoothed out multiplayer at 60 FPS. But now, Reloaded is bringing the heat. Literally, we're talking 4K res, 120 FPS, HDR, VRR, ultra-wide support, real-time shadows and reflections, the whole 9 yards. And even more than that, though, this isn't just a visual update. This remake features crossplay and cross-progression. That means if you're playing on Xbox and your buddy is on PC or PlayStation, you're in it together. No walls, no limitations. This is the kind of ecosystem we've always dreamed about, even a decade ago when Gears was so popular. But now let's talk about the elephant in the room, because I literally just mentioned it, and that is PlayStation. This moment is huge, and I hope people really understand that. Gears of War Reloaded marks the first time ever that a Gears game is launching on PlayStation hardware. That's right, so hell literally froze over, and now Marcus Phoenix is gunning down Locust on a PlayStation 5. So let that sink in for just a second. This is one of Xbox's most iconic franchises. This is the series that basically defined the Xbox 360 era, sitting right up there with Halo. And now it's crossing over, not just in name, but fully launching on PlayStation 5 with day one parity. Same campaign, same multiplayer, same tech, same literally everything. And now this feels like more than just a business decision. It's a shift in philosophy. Xbox is slowly but surely becoming a platform-agnostic ecosystem, and while that's got its pros and cons, one thing's for sure. A whole new wave of gamers are about to experience Gears for the first time, and I personally think that is insane. It's one of my favorite franchises ever, so it's cool to see that PlayStation players are finally getting a chance to do it. And now that raises a really interesting question, though. What happens next? How do you introduce new players to a franchise with this much history? And that's where the conversation starts to get interesting, and it brings us to Gears of War Judgment. And now let's be honest here. Gears of War Judgment is the black sheep of the series. When it dropped back in 2013, it landed with a thud. Not because it was bad per se, but because it wasn't what fans expected. The story was a prequel to the main trilogy, focusing on Damon Baird, the wisecracking, sarcastic tech guy of Delta Squad. And while it offered a new perspective on the Locust War, it lacked some of the features and polish of the earlier games. Horde mode was gutted, multiplayer fell off, and the sales reflected that, with only 1 million copies sold compared to Gears 3's 3 million in the first week. Yes, heard that right, the first week. 3 million. Pretty insane. But here's the thing. Judgment wasn't necessarily a bad game. I think it was just misunderstood. And now with Gears Reloaded and E-Day reshaping the timeline, Judgment might finally have a chance to shine. And you see, E-Day takes place at the very beginning of the Locust War. Judgment picks up shortly after that. So if you're a new PlayStation player getting into Gears for the first time, you're going to want to know what happens next. You're going to want that connective tissue. And right now, Judgment is stuck on 360 and Xbox's backwards compatibility program. No PC version, no PlayStation access, and I personally think it is a huge missed opportunity. Think about it. A remastered version, even if it's just the campaign, could bridge the gap. It could give players a better sense of the early war, introduce Baird properly, and build momentum leading into Gears 2 and beyond. And now let's not forget here, the same way Halo 3 ODST got folded into the Master Chief Collection, Judgment could easily be bundled with the future remasters. Which leads us to the next big question. What about Gears 2? But okay, so if you ask 100 Gears fans what their favorite entry in the series is, at least 60 of them, including myself, will say Gears of War 2, and I think they'd be absolutely right. This game was a moment. It doubled down on the emotional storytelling, introduced us to more of a human side of Marcus and Dom, and gave us that gut punch of a scene with Maria. Now, I'm not going to say it here, but if you know, you definitely know. And gameplay-wise, this is where Horde mode was born. Gears 2 didn't just refine the formula, it redefined what the series could be. And it laid the groundwork for wave-based PvE modes across the industry. And I personally think it deserves better than to be stuck in Xbox 360 limbo. Currently, you can only play Gears 2 via backwards compatibility. No PC version, no PlayStation access, no graphical overhaul. It's a fossil that's preserved, yes, but not restored. And now imagine if Reloaded takes off. If this remake performs well, critically and financially, which I think is key, that sends a strong message to the Coalition. Fans want more. They want the golden era of Gears brought back to life. And if the rumored Marcus Phoenix collection never materializes, a Gears 2 remake could be the next best thing. Maybe even better, give it a reloaded treatment. 4K, 120 FPS, crossplay, the works, and heck, toss in Gears 3 while you're at it. Because then, you've got a trilogy of some of the best third-person shooters ever made just waiting to be reborn. And so the real question is, what's the Coalition waiting for? And now let's shift gears here, pun fully intended, and let's talk about Gears of War E-Day. This is the next mainline entry in the series, a full prequel set 14 years before the original game. It brings us back to when the Locust first emerged, following a young Marcus Phoenix and Dom Santiago at the very beginning of the war. This is a chance to reboot the franchise without actually rebooting it. It's a clean slate and a storytelling goldmine. We get to see how the world reacted when everything changed. The fear, the chaos, the desperation, and if it's done right, it could be the emotional reset that Gears needs. And here's where things get exciting. If Reloaded performs well and E-Day launches as a success, we could see a full reimagining of the entire Gears timeline. Now think about it. E-Day leads to Judgement, which leads to Gears 1, 2, and 3, all remade and revitalized. It could become a Gears cinematic universe of sorts. Consistent tech, modern gameplay standards, and interlinked stories across all platforms. PlayStation players wouldn't just be catching up, they'd be part of the experience from day one, and that's a huge shift in the landscape. So where does that leave us? Gears of War Reloaded is more than just a remake, it's a statement. A sign that the Coalition and Xbox are ready to bring Gears into the modern era, with visual fidelity, cross-platform support, and broader accessibility than ever before. And for longtime fans like me, who've been chainsawing Locust since 2006, it's a beautiful reminder of why we fell in love with this series in the first place. Whether it's the emotional storytelling of Gears 2, the underdog potential of Judgement, or the bold new future of E-Day, the next few years are going to be massive for this franchise. So yeah, if you're new to Gears, Reloaded is the perfect entry point. And if you're a returning vet, you already know what to do. So in the comments below, let me know what you think about Gears of War Reloaded. Are you excited that it's going to be getting a full-on remaster, remake, 120 FPS, the whole 9 yards like I mentioned in the beginning of this video? Are you wanting a Gears of War Judgment remaster? Are you wanting a Gears 2 and 3 remaster as well? Do you want this series to just be brought back to life, essentially? And then overall, are you excited for Gears of War E-Day? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new, as I will continue to be making more gaming news videos just like this one. Until next time.